right, everybody, welcome back again. As I said, this is round 2 of Cooking with Bullet. So tonight I'm gonna make something that I think a lot of people are afraid to try or especially to make, but pasta carbonara. Pasta carbonara is probably one of the easier pasta dishes you're to make, and in fact, this dish should take you at max about 30 minutes to make. It's very simple in the ingredients, but tastes absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you, there's some things that can be interchanged here while making this, just in case you can't find those specific things. Fresh Parmesan. And if you can't find like a fresh block of Parmesan, then you of course can get, I think some markets actually sell like the slivered Parmesan, things like that. Just do not go for that powdered shit. It is not the business, and it is not what you want to use in this dish. It's not going to work out well. The next thing is pancetta. And if you can't find pancetta, you can use bacon, and you can treat the bacon in the same way that I'm going to be treating the pancetta that I actually had to make this with tonight. Now, if you're using bacon, what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to take about 8 to 10 slices of the bacon and then dice it down to about half inch cubes. Okay, that's simple. The next thing you're gonna need is, in my case, I'm only using 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk. And if you remember, I did hold the egg yolk off to the side earlier. I'll be using that so it doesn't go to waste. And then the pasta or linguine, whichever one you want to go with. Pasta, in my case, as far as spaghetti, is going to be the pasta that I'm going to be using. At the same time, the next thing you're going to want to have is garlic. I prefer to have fresh garlic in this one. I'm going to dice it up really, really good, mince it up really, really well. And then the last thing is parsley. And this should be a pretty quick video. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make this right now. So let's go ahead and hop into it. All right. All right, so as you can see, I've pretty much got everything already laid out here. I've got 2 bowls here because I'm going to actually need both of them, and I'll show you why in a moment. And then I've already shredded up some Parmesan, and then I've got some fresh parsley here, and then I've got 3 cloves of garlic. You can use more or less depending on how much of this you're actually making. I'm gonna eat a pretty good amount of this, so yeah, I'm gonna use probably all 3 cloves of garlic here. Now, what I will show you is this. Since I do have some of the Parmesan that I was talking about just a second ago, so if you can't find blocked Parmesan, what you might find is this here. And it's these little shaved pieces of it. Hopefully it'll actually take that in. So I really thin shaved slices of Parmesan cheese, okay? Now, this is the simplest thing in the world to actually do here. You're just gonna have to put your knife skills to use. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this here, lay it out. And you're essentially going to treat it the way that you're going to end up treating this parsley in the end. But just take it from this cube state, and you're going to like thinly shred it down. So whether you have an actual cheese grater, or if you don't have a cheese grater, or if you can't find the actual block of Parmesan cheese, well, you've just taken fresh Parmesan cheese and ran it into the slivers that you're actually going to need for this dish here. And it's going to work out by far better than ever trying to buy one of those little containers of Parmesan. All right. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just take this parsley, take it all in a bunch here. Most definitely use fresh parsley, and the fresh parsley won't even get used really until the end as you're putting everything together. And you're just gonna go ahead and put them knife skills to work. Some of them too big, come back. Perfect. Parsley, fresh parsley chopped that quick. And then we're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip the board around so I have the space I need and go for it. Now, this is what we come up with here. Pretty big chunks of, and then we just want to break all of these chunks down. And voila, it's done. Everything is ready right there. We're good. That's that. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get the other stuff all set and ready to go. Okay, we're back. And what I've already got going on here is I have a pot of water already boiling. That will be for the pasta. Please remember, very important thing here. Season your pasta water. That means throwing salt in it, not oil. Do not put oil in the water that you're gonna be using to boil pasta. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Now, this one over here is going to be for the pancetta. And let me show you how we're gonna actually deal with the pancetta. Now, in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take half a cup of water and pour it into this saucepan here that the pancetta is going to go into. I'm going to put that on about almost high heat. I mean, it's one step away from high heat. Get that all spread out. And what's going to happen is I'm going to let this come up to a simmer, and then I'm going to take it down to about medium heat, and then let all of the liquid cook off and let the actual pancetta itself brown, crisp, and render off some of that fat. And I'm gonna wash my hands because I just touched the pancetta raw. I'm gonna go ahead and cover that up, let it go, let it come down to a little bit of a, come up to a little bit of a nice little simmer, and then we'll turn that down to about medium heat. That's gonna take, after you turn it down, it's gonna actually be just below medium heat, but once you turn it down, it's gonna take about a good 8 to 10 minutes or so before that crisps up the way that you want it to. You don't want it burnt. You just want the fat to have rendered off of it and for it to have crisped up. We'll come back and check on that. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna take a quick break, and then we'll turn around and get everything else ready for once we start cooking the pasta, because this is all gonna come together really, really quickly within the, by the end, okay? All right, so I will be back in a couple of minutes. All right, now everything's starting to come together, and all of the water has evaporated off of the pancetta, and it's starting to go ahead and brown. And as you'll see, what's left behind is a pretty good amount of fat. All right, so we're gonna let this keep going until it browns all the way through thoroughly on everything. We get nice little crisp but not burnt pieces. Same thing if you're using bacon, okay? Same exact thing. And while that's happening, since we've already got the water boiling for our pasta, I'm gonna go ahead and drop some salt into it so it's ready to complete. Let's get that all evened out there so everything gets nice and cooked. Now let's go ahead and just throw some salt into our pasta water, and remember to use a decent amount of salt always when you are seasoning your pasta water. And actually that pancetta is starting to come together even quicker at this point. Oh, smells so damn good. It's almost time for us to get that off of here. Okay, The pancetta is done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take that and throw it into its own bowl here, leaving behind as much of this fat as possible because we're gonna get rid of most of that fat and keep about a tablespoon of it for our next section here. And there we go. So we got the pancetta here. I actually put a little paper towel in here just to, catch most of the grease that will come off of it from this point through. All right, so now that we've got that done, we're gonna go ahead and drain off some of this fat here and then start the garlic in the last tablespoon of that oil. That garlic will be done in about a minute or two at max. Don't want to break the pasta, just go ahead and drop it in there. I'll let the water and gravity do the rest of the work. The pasta itself is going to take about a good 8 minutes. Let's go ahead and give it a swirl so nothing sticks to itself or to each other. All right. That's that. The garlic is done. Let's get that out of there and then show you the final parts to this. All right, so now we're back here to go ahead and pretty much finish this all off. What we're gonna do now is go ahead and take our egg yolk, add 1 egg, then we're gonna take 1 tablespoon of that bacon fat, or in my case, the pancetta fat. Drizzle that over it. And then we're gonna take the garlic itself, release that right into this mixture. And then all of this Parmesan cheese right onto it as well. The only thing we are not adding yet is the pancetta itself and the parsley. Now, remember, Parmesan cheese can be pretty salty, but we're just gonna put just a couple of dabs of sea salt in here. And then a pretty decent amount of black pepper. At this point, the only thing we're waiting on now is the pasta, and honestly, I think it's about ready. So I'm gonna check it really quick. Yep. All right. So I'm gonna remove most of this pasta and set it off into the skillet where the garlic was. Sorry, I'm off camera with this here. But what I am also going to do, and this is the tricky part to this dish here, I'm gonna take 1 cup of that pasta water while it is hot, hot, hot. And I'm gonna slowly drizzle it into our egg mixture while whisking it, all right? Now you don't wanna do this super quickly. You wanna actually take it at a slow drizzle. You're not looking for, scrambled eggs at all. You're just trying to incorporate this nice hot, and I mean hot, pasta water into the Parmesan, the egg, the garlic, salt, pepper, all that good stuff. I can go a little bit faster, I think. Oh, look at that. Oh, wait. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna end up slicing up more Parmesan because I'm gonna want more of it to finish off the dish itself. All right, let's see. I'm about halfway through this. Trying to keep that on camera for you. I know I could push things off to the side, but now I'm actually like comfortable in where I'm at. Sorry about that. You'll end up seeing the finished product though. All right, cool. I'm going to stop right at about that amount there. Just for the moment. Because what's gotta happen now is we're gonna drop the pasta into it. We're gonna drop the pasta right into this mixture. Nice hot pasta. Wham. And what we want to do is go ahead and give it a nice little toss in there. What's going to happen is that this is going to thicken. This liquid is going to thicken, and that's why I reserved about a little over a quarter of the cup of hot pasta water that I was actually adding to it. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take the pancetta and pretty much just sprinkle some in, toss it, come back, sprinkle a bit more in, give it another toss. You know what? Take this the way I normally would. There we go. Some of that Parmesan clumped up together there. Holy crap, you can't understand what this smells like right now. It smells delicious. I'm ready to eat. I would make garlic bread, however, all of those, after eating all of those pancakes earlier, I mean, so much so that I forgot to fucking make the thumbnail for the video. Yo, I'm not taking in no more bread tonight. And I'm eating pasta as well. I'm gonna hit it with just a little bit more of that hot pasta water. I mean, it's pretty much solid right now. Like, it's ready to go, but I wanna give it just a little bit more of a toss and get everything nice and coated in there. And then I'm gonna let it stand for a couple of minutes so that way it can all thicken up again. Like, this whole dish is about that sauce that's going to be, it's gonna thicken up and it's just gonna be absolutely silky, creamy, and delicious. What I will say about this is you probably wanna eat all of it. If you're making it for two, I'd advise you to go ahead and eat all of it that night, because this isn't one of those dishes that reheats well at all. However, it's still good, but preferably you're gonna wanna go ahead and just finish this off, right then. Now, let me go ahead and sprinkle just a small bit of the parsley on here right now. The parsley is primarily the finisher for when you're going ahead and plating it up. But I'm just gonna do just a little bit right now. And then I'm gonna chop up some more Parmesan cheese and use that when I'm actually plating it up as well again. So give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back and we're gonna finish this off and try it out. And I'm gonna actually take a picture of it this time so that I have a fucking thumbnail instead of doing what I did earlier. So I'll be right back. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Pasta carbonara. Let's go ahead and dig into it. All right, so as you just seen, we just finished it off. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Oh my goodness. It's like, wow. Shining. Yo. I took a big bite. I'm trying to do it like I was doing some fucking ramen right now. All I gotta say is wow. This dish I make quite a few times. Usually when I tell people I'm gonna make it, they're like, oh, but isn't that like raw egg, blah, blah, blah. Well, first off, you're not an under 6-year-old child or over 65-year-old adult. And if you get the right eggs and understand that you are heating the eggs up using the hot water, though it doesn't reach a temperature of 180 degrees, even still, you're perfectly fine. And this is one of those dishes you absolutely should not allow a fear like that to stop you from trying. It is so good, it's not even funny. I honestly wish I had made it more. Like in the last few years, this is the first time I've made it probably in about 4.5 years, and it's kind of sad.
Man, that was so good. All you gotta do is make that for your girl, serve her some wine with it. There's gonna be panties dropping, headboards knocking. 100. But hey, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Bullet. It's been fun, it's been real. Please go ahead, like the video, comment, let me know what you think of the recipe, if you've ever tried pasta carbonara, or if it's something that you'd like to try now after seeing this, what you might want to see me cook in the future, and most definitely go ahead and subscribe. But hey, at this point, you guys know how it goes. I'm THESHELLBULLET8. It's been great, but for now, I'm out.